welcome back to the channel. I want to address our laundry room. The washer and dryer, I'd like to be able to send them back further. We had a cabinet here in the corner. That countertop had been ruined by somebody spilling some bleach on it. The way the whole thing was configured, it didn't quite work out the way we were hoping. I wanted to be able to have a rack to hang some clothes on. Going to keep the sink, but I want to change. These washer and dryers are stackable, and they have brackets where you can stack the dryer on top and lock it down, and then I need to reverse the door as well as get rid of this cabinet because I want to stack it here in the corner. So I'm probably going to need to address how the plumbing is, and I've got to redo the tile on the floor. So you can see this cabinet countertop has bleached, needs to be replaced. The bottom of this cabinet has heavy water damage where it had leaked. There's a hole there in the cabinet for who knows what that somebody has taped over. And then this cabinet, since I want to move the washer and dryer over, I need to take that bracket out. Now the cabinet is out of the way, and finish the tile. So I will start with taking this cabinet out and getting the washer and dryer stacked, and then I can start looking at what all is involved back here with plumbing and vents. There was ground molding across the top of this cabinet that was tacked into place. It was really loose. It just practically fell off when I pulled on it. I want to remove this cabinet now so that I can get my washer and dryer stacked in this corner and figure out what all is entailed before I fix this tile. So I don't know if you've ever had to remove these. This particular type, it just has a little lever on the back. It just pops those out, so you don't have to take the screws out. And then it is screwed into the wall with some long screws on this side, as well as this side and in the back. And I'll take those screws out. And you can lower that panel down out of the way. Looks like I'll have to take these brackets out of the way to get to these side screws. The cabinet installer put screws through the other side too, so I'm going to have to take this door off and loosen up those hinges and take out those screws, and then I'll be able to drop this panel down. There we go. Now I'll just start playing with putting the washer and dryer together and moving it over, and how all of this is going to have to be modified, if anything. And when it comes to this corner where the tile ended, the cabinetry guys, obviously, when this house was built, the cabinetry guys got here before the tile guys. Normally you'd tile first, put the cabinets on top. Since the cabinet guys got here before the tile guy, this tile has been cut. Now I have this tile, I have some tile left over from when we remodeled our kitchen. There was several pieces where you were able to pop up without breaking them. I could just put tile in here and call it good. But I want a professional finish. This is a really nice home. So I want to do it right. So I need to pop these tiles out. I need to remove the baseboards, and I want to put these baseboards back in. I want it to look like it was professionally done, that it was this way when the house was built. In order to get these baseboards off, the best thing I have found over the years is to get a good putty knife like this one and break that caulking loose. if you just pry it away, you're going to rip off some of the finish. So you can see up here where I cut the caulk and took the countertop off, I can't get that smooth without ripping off the caulk. The caulk has to be taken down past the paint and then have to refinish. So then I'll put filler on it and sand it and repaint. And then when the washer and dryer are back in here, you won't be able to see this. When you get to a spot where it's been nailed, and it's pretty difficult to get behind that caulk, but if you just work it, you can get behind it. Now when it comes to prying it off where the nails are, if you get a pry bar in there and you just start prying away, you're gonna pop the sheetrock. So if you just get down behind it, you can just slowly work it out, and it'll either pull those finished nails through the wood or it'll actually pull them out of the wall. So just be patient and just slowly work it away, and then once it breaks loose, it'll just pull out. Now this piece, it's hard to tell just yet, but it looks like it goes on top of this baseboard, which will be nice. It should just pop right off. Sometimes you might have to cut that caulk, but let's just see what happens here. This piece is actually contoured to match, so it is behind this one. Hopefully I can get it out without damaging it, but just gently work it out. Hopefully I can get it past the nails. It is breaking it a little bit. So when I put the new baseboard back in and get a piece that's full length, I will have to go back in here and fill these chips where it did chip up the edges, but that'll be much easier than removing this piece too and then having to fix it. So that's one down, and then the one behind the washer and dryer, and then I can pop out that tile. Always bend your nails over. I don't know how many times I've worked with people that didn't bend over the nails, thought to themselves, be careful, there's nails sticking out, and then turn around and step on one. Now, whenever you're doing a project like this, especially tile, get your PPEs, your personal protective equipment. Get yourself safe. You don't want to break a tile and have it in your eye. It's one thing to go through the pain and suffering and the expense and the hospital visit, but you lose an eye, which I know a lady that did. That's a lifelong disability. So protect yourself. Now, if we're lucky, I can get under this tile and just pop it out. There we go. So that makes it really easy to go back in and put in the correct floor. I'll probably end up breaking this one, but that's okay. Luckily, the builder, the tile guy, didn't put mesh in this. It doesn't look like there's any wire mesh. The kitchen had wire mesh throughout all of that. Made it really, really difficult to reset the tile. They had used a trowel with a pretty deep groove, so I will just go back and butter up the back side of these with the mud, butter this edge, and it should be just enough to bond this surface down with the new tile. I'll have to cut a tile here, a tile here, and a tile across the back, so there'll be 3 cuts and then 1 full tile. I just need to move the washer and dryer and get that baseboard out across the back. And then I gotta dig out my tile saw. Go to the store and get me some supplies. I don't have the mud. I do have the grout from when we did the kitchen.